That's enough to fill the two big stadiums in Auckland. So it has to be about ensuring people have jobs, but also ensuring that they can just afford the basics to live here.
Okay. So, any particular policy you are working at the moment? Because what I'm thinking, every time when I ask to the labor representatives about the future policies for this nation, you've been in the power, and now this is about time when your popularity graph is actually growing, thankfully.
Yeah.
So let us know about the future policies. What policies Labour Party working on at the moment, especially precisely for the migrants, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. So, what we can share at the moment is our policy priorities, which is absolutely focused on the cost of living, on
Mhm.
jobs, health, and homes, as well as education. And so, those are the policy headlines for us. Now, as a party, what we do developing our policy proposals, our manifesto, is we're very engaged with our membership, but also talking to people about what matters to them, which is why you'll find Chris Hipkins, our leader, and members of parliament out talking to community members. Chris Hipkins has said that later this year there will be policy announcements, so those will be coming. Unfortunately, I can't preempt that by sharing that with you. But
Yeah.
what I can certainly urge your listeners to do is, if there are issues and policy proposals and ideas of particular interest, we are
Yeah.
absolutely focused on listening, and they should get in touch with us directly.
Okay. In the meantime, Vanushi, when you look at the overall impression of the migrant communities, they feel a little bit panic because of the events in the past, especially looking at the Brian Tamaki, march in the city, in the center of the city in Tamaki Makaurau. What is your take on that? I mean, I do understand the freedom of speech, but in the meantime, as a migrant, what do you think about the migrant community feel a little bit insecure after that?
Yeah, I can relate to that as a migrant myself, and coming from the Sri Lankan community, but also as a human rights lawyer. So I worked at the Human Rights Commission after March 15 happened. I think
Yep.
we've been given some very clear proposals from the Royal Commission that happened after March 15, which included that we should be looking at the law around hate and ensuring that our laws are fit for purpose. Now, the government have said that they will look at hate crimes, but they are not looking at the other proposals, the other recommendations. My view is that we do need to take those recommendations seriously. We have an increasing number of multicultural members of our community. That's not going down, that's going to keep growing. So we can't simply put that on the shelf, and we must respond to those recommendations. When we were in government last time around, we were very directive in terms of asking the Law Commission to come up with proposals there. This government has essentially asked the Law Commission to pause that work. So there's a really important distinction for us. So it is a very clear priority for us that multicultural communities must be listened to, and we absolutely have to consider the real risks to safety that our communities are facing.
Are you happy with the current situation when you look at acknowledging the multiculturalism of Aotearoa, the country which has been chosen by people like yourself or myself, or maybe our next generation going to grow up in this beautiful multicultural society? So, what is your personal take about the acknowledging multiculturalism?
Yeah, well, I think in terms of what our government did, we were the ones who created the Ministry of Ethnic Communities. We're the ones who multiplied by sixfold the grants that were available to multicultural communities to celebrate, to share their culture with the rest of New Zealand. So my view is we were on the right track. I am worried that now, and what we're seeing both internationally, but also that tone that we're seeing in New Zealand, that multicultural communities are feeling under threat, that there isn't a sense of community that we were trying to build. There was a report that came out from the Helen Clark Foundation earlier this year that really concerned me. And it was data that showed that a lot of people didn't believe that migrants make good citizens. citizens, or they didn't respond positively to that. So there's clearly a lot of work to do, and I think that will absolutely be a focus of not just our multicultural MPs within the Labour Party. For us, it's all of us. We work together as a team, and we certainly see that duty to serve all our communities as a collective one that we have together.
And Diwali is just around the corner, and tell us a little bit more about your electorate as well, because I can see you're very, very busy in your area and also in the wider community. Tell us about your activities in the near future.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Diwali. To be honest, it's one of my children's favorite times of year as well, because they love coming to the festivals. They're all about the food and the color and the vibrancy. So for me, it's not just a political time, it's a family time. It's time when I can include my family in events. I'm based in West Auckland, so there are a huge number of events across in Henderson, but I also tend to go to the event that's hosted by BNZ in the main centre city as well. So you'll be seeing Labour MPs and our families out and about celebrating with you all and our Indian community.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for your time, Vanushi, and you keep up the spirit. Thank you for your time and wisdom.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. दोस्तों ये सन Vanushi